The Khazad Empire was the multi-realm spanning dominion of the Duardin, which collapsed during the Age of Chaos. We know of the Duardin known as the Dispossessed, who fled to Heavenly Azir to escape complete annihilation. However, some Duardin found a way to survive in these dark times. They shunned away from the shelter of gods. After all, where was Grungni when all the gods, including Gorka Morka, the deity of the Aurochs, was present during the Chaos invasion? No divine being was coming to rescue the Duardin, as they were murdered in their vast mountain kingdoms. Gods and kings weren't going to be their salvation. These Duardin had to save themselves. If the Duardin could not survive in their great mountain holds, they would turn to the skies. In the realm of metal, Chamon, the first skyports were built. The conquering of this realm was the main focus of the scheming chaos god of destiny, Tzeentch. The bulk of the evil deity's forces and manipulations tore through the realm. The skyports would grow as each Karak fell below, with refugees swelling up these bastions with nowhere else to flee. To ensure the survival of their aerial bases, the Duardin had to expand their skyports and communication across their various territories. Sky vessels and mining equipment had to be made quickly to ensure the sky fleets didn't collapse back to the surface. To power the skyports and their many technologies, these Duardin used a resource known as aether gold, a lighter-than-air metal. Across the currents of the skies are great veins and lodes of aether gold existing in a vaporous form. For reasons unknown, the skyborne metal attracts all variants of monsters, which adds to the difficulty of acquiring it. Aether gold would end up becoming the basis of which this new Duardin society would revolve around. These Duardin, now known as the Kharadron Overlords, mapped out aether current routes of the magical vapor to ensure they could cultivate and grow their skyports. At first, the Kharadron would argue over rights to mining. These arguments would eventually escalate into civil war, all the while Tzeentch was pursuing their annihilation. It wasn't until the Conference of Meldrata did they create the Kharadron Code, a guide with a set of laws to lead to a prosperous life for all Duardin across the skyports. This constitution details guidelines for crew discipline, quantified personal profit, and compensation for death and injury. This expanded further into rules for engagement, how to claim aether gold deposits, and conduct business. Moving away from the rule of gods and kings, their Skyfleet's leadership is not based on what a captain has done for their crew, but what they are currently doing for their crew. The entirety of the Kharadron Overlord Society focuses on what good can you provide now. An accusation of mutiny follows a set of criteria that, if met, the leader will step down and the next most meritable personnel on the crew would take command. Due to their relative safety in the skies compared to the apocalypse down below, the Kharadron Skyfleets are able to acquire many goods from across the realms, making them excellent mercantile traders and masters of logistics. That doesn't mean that there aren't any dangers in the skies. Through their aether crafting, they've created a set of devices to better allow them to adjust and survive. Arcana armor is a heavy-set suit lightened by aether gold that not only protects the wearer, but allows for attachments ranging from mining equipment, from headlamps and lens magnifiers, to weaponry, such as the optic laser known as God's Eye. Their weaponry, such as skyhooks and aether hammers, have added force through aether propulsion. From a distance, a Kharadron could strike down enemies with their vast ranged weapons, such as the volley pistol, that fires focused beams of aether that solidify mid-flight, or a billow gun, which produces a lethal cloud to envelope enemies in fire. With civilization crawling back with the return of the God King, the reclaimed cities of Sigmar, and the new Dawnbringer Crusades, the Kharadron Overlords have found themselves invaluable trading partners. From the brink of an apocalypse, the Kharadron have become masters of technology and rulers of the skies.